Hello, and welcome to Adolescent Medicine Consulting's video for the week of February 19th, 2024. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mira Bihari. I'm a pediatrician and adolescent medicine specialist with over 20 years of experience helping teens, tweens, and young adults, in addition to teaching medical students and physicians. For those of you who follow me regularly, thank you for tuning in. As you can tell, my voice is a little off, but finally well enough that I feel comfortable recording videos again. For today, I want to wrap up our stress management series with 3 breathing techniques that you can teach in a 99213 visit. For those of you in practice in medicine, you are familiar with this billing code for an established patient visit. For those of you who haven't seen our stress management videos, take a moment and look back at some of the other videos so you can learn some other techniques to help you and the teens in your practice. As a reminder, these videos are for informational and educational purposes only. They are not a substitute for your own clinical judgment. Please use your own judgment before using these techniques with a client or a patient. The 3 breathing techniques we will cover today are the calm down countdown, sometimes referred to as 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, diaphragmatic breathing, and box breathing. I did not learn any of these techniques during my residency or fellowship. These are techniques that I learned from other physicians as well as from my patients who learned it sometimes from their psychologists. For more information about these techniques, please contact me or do your own research. Okay, so we're going to start with the calm down countdown. This is a really easy technique that can be taught in a few minutes during your office visit. It can also help de-escalate an anxious situation. I've certainly used this when I've felt anxiety either before giving a presentation or when I'm on a plane and things are feeling kind of funky. So I find this helpful for myself as well as staff and other folks, not just for patients. Like I said, pretty easy to learn. We ask people to start with taking 3 deep breaths in and out. And then looking around their environment and seeing 5 things that they can see, naming those out loud. So for me, in my space, I'm of course seeing this camera. As I look around, I can see a little spray bottle I have for cleaning my screen. I can see a sign in my office, my rules, those are the office rules. I can see some scrap paper I have for taking notes, and I can see my standing desk set up. So those are 5 things I can see. Then we want the person to name 4 things that they can touch or feel. So I can feel my shirt. I can feel the pants that I'm wearing. I can feel the standing desk. I can feel my computer. Then we want the person to name 3 things that they can hear. I can hear the hum of the computer. I can hear some sounds from next door. I can hear some tummy noises. It's getting close to lunchtime. Then 2 things that we can smell. This one sometimes requires the person to get up and move around a little bit. So let's see what we have here that I can smell. Oh, the lotion that I put on earlier today. What else do we have? Tin of mints. Very minty. And one thing we can taste. So for me, I can taste a little bit of the coffee that I had earlier today. This technique is really great for helping when you're in a thought spiral and the thoughts are just floating and you need to get back into the real world for a little bit. Love this technique. When I use it when I'm like freaking out on a plane or something, I don't say these things out loud. I think them to myself. But this is certainly something that can be used in a variety of situations. Like I said, pretty easy to learn or teach in a brief office visit. Next, we're going to talk about diaphragmatic breathing. This type of breathing I actually learned from my colleague, Dr. Seema Kaneja, who was a great help to me in a variety of ways. And I have taught it to many, many patients as well as students since I learned this technique. What I love about this technique, and I really wish somebody had taught me this in medical school, is that when you do this technique, it stimulates your diaphragm, which for those of you who are really great at anatomy, you might remember that the diaphragm is innervated by the vagus nerve. Why is the vagus nerve called the vagus nerve? It wanders. It wanders from our brain, past our throat, to our heart and lungs, and down to the diaphragm. As we stimulate this nerve, it lowers our heart rate, lowers our blood pressure, calms down our breathing to bring a physical calm that can then help with a mental calm. As I learned this technique from Dr. Kaneja, I also happened to have a patient who had rumination syndrome, and I learned that this is one of the techniques that can actually help with rumination syndrome because it helps to relax the body and then bring more blood flow to the stomach, which can help decrease some of the pressure and feeling that makes it easier to regurgitate. It is something that can be taught in a few minutes. I definitely recommend regular practice of this technique so that it can be called upon in situations of true stress. For my patients who have eating issues, when I recommend this, I encourage them to do this technique for a few minutes before every meal, at least 5 minutes before every meal, 3 times a day, to get into the habit of using it. And then when you are in a stressful situation, it's pretty easy to call up and use in those moments. When I teach it, I tell people to place one hand on the chest and one hand on the tummy. I ask folks to take a deep breath in and out. And I ask them to notice which hand moved. For a lot of people, it's the chest hand. As we do this breathing, we want the tummy hand to move. So as the person breathes in, the tummy hand should poof out as your tummy and lungs and everything is fully filling with air with that diaphragm being stimulated. So we're going to breathe in and fill that tummy with air. And then we're going to breathe out and let all the air out as the hand goes with your belly button all the way to your spine, letting out all the air. We're going to breathe in again, filling in the tummy, nice round belly, soft belly. Breathing is another name for this. And then letting out all the air, belly button to your spine. And again, pretty easy technique to teach in an office visit. The cool thing about doing it in the office is that you usually have the exam table where the patient can lie down, and it's a little bit easier to feel the belly movement when a person is lying down. Like I said, I encourage patients to use this 3 times a day. For a lot of my patients who sing or play wind instruments, they already know this technique, but they haven't really used this in regular breathing or a way to calm down. All right, moving on. Next, we're going to talk about box breathing. This is a technique that can be taught by itself, or it can be used in conjunction with the diaphragmatic breathing. I usually use it as a way to structure the diaphragmatic breathing so that the person breathes in for 4 seconds, holds it for 4 seconds, and then breathes out for 4 seconds, holds that for 4 seconds, and repeats the cycle until they're feeling calmer. So this is something that can give a little structure to that. The person can do 1, 2, 3, 4 Mississippis, or whatever way they have to count the 4 seconds. As I did some more research on this, apparently this was used by Navy SEALs to help them calm down. Who knew? So it's also something that can be taught pretty quickly and easily in the office visit. Thank you for tuning in and learning about these 3 breathing techniques that you can teach your patients in a 99213 visit. These are also helpful videos and breathing techniques for your staff as well as the parents of some of your patients. Keep tuning in for more information on health issues that affect teens, tweens, and young adults. If you'd like CME credit for this video, please follow the instructions on the link for reflection credits from our colleagues at CMFI. For more ways to help the teens in your practice, including some custom educational experiences, visit our website, www.adolescentmedicineconsulting.com, or reach out to us in a direct message. Thank you.